All right, so here's a technique that I've used to break some habits that I think you might find pretty effective. And you might have it happening in your life and not even realize it. So if, like, say you getting ready in the morning, and you probably have a set routine, right? You do a certain pattern every morning. You know, you go to the bathroom, you take a shower, you brush your teeth, whatever. You ever have somebody call you on the phone while you're in that routine, or have the kids yell up the stairs or something like that? And then you finish everything up, and then you walk out the door. Maybe you get to work and you realize you forgot to brush your teeth. It's because your pattern was interrupted, your thought process. And so you weren't even thinking about it. Your brain was just on a track and you were going about your business. And when you interrupt it, it kind of screws all of that up. So for me, I've used it in other areas of my life to try to affect a positive change rather than make me forget to brush my teeth. For instance, yesterday, I did something to help me stop a negative thought pattern. I noticed a while back that after a therapy session, I'd be exhausted. I'd come home and, like I just mentally couldn't focus on anything. So I would end up, on social media, I'd end up watching a TV show or whatever, and eventually I'd get back on track and get back to work, but I'd lose like an hour or two of productivity, and it just wasn't working for me. So I was at a bar a couple of weeks ago, and there's a woman sitting at the corner of the bar, and just quietly sitting on her laptop, just sipping on a beer, and she was writing. And she's sitting at the corner of the bar sipping on a beer, and she's just writing her dissertation while sitting at the bar. And, through talking to her, trying not to interrupt her too much, but, eventually she picked her head up and started talking to the people around her. And, she liked the atmosphere. It got her out of her house, and it kind of helped her work, just like sipping on a beer, calming the brain down a little bit, whatever. So I'm driving home from therapy 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stop at the bar. There's a bar I pass on the way home. I'm going to sit in the bar, have one beer, bring my laptop, and just start typing, start doing whatever comes to mind. And I got a ton of work done, And it was only in like an hour. And so this week, I figured, okay, let's try it again and see what happens. I didn't have my laptop with me this time. I just had my phone. And I sat down, and I'm trying to type on my phone, wasn't really working. So I ended up just getting a bar napkin and a pen and just started writing down ideas. And I got like topics for articles that I had written down. I thought through my topic list for my next Defining Life podcast. I just I had all of these notes in 1 hour over one beer, and it was time that I would have wasted otherwise. Now look, if you don't want to drink in the middle of the day, I get it. I'm trying to drink, less anyway. I don't have a problem with alcoholism, so it's not an issue that I have. But if it's something that you can't do, there's other ways you can do this. If for me a pattern interrupt previously was watching TV at night. If I would watch TV at night, it would create a chain of events that caused me to snack, caused me to stay up late. So a pattern interrupt for that would be to insert something else instead of wanting to sit down and watch TV. If you wanted to do something like what I'm talking about, like if you're driving home from therapy and you're typically exhausted, or some other meeting or whatever, maybe you need to stop at a Panera Bread, grab a bowl of soup or a coffee, maybe a decaf if it's later in the day. Go to a coffee shop, grab a decaf. This happens a lot with people that work from home. We get stuck in these routines at home, and we can't we just kind of get stuck in a pattern of behavior that causes us to sort of numb out a little bit. So changing a venue, sitting in a cafe, whatever, to try to change everything, and it changes the entire thought process. So if you're stuck in a routine that you want to break, sometimes completely changing that scenery, other times just changing the pattern of events, the sequence of events, can cause that pattern interrupt and change the result for you. Give it a shot. See ya.